So you're very welcome to the Irish Independent Premier Division review. A Monday night round of games, 8 teams in action. The end of the season is nigh, and Aidan, I suppose, finality at the top of the bottom is nigh. We'll come to the games that we were at in due course, but I suppose the lead story from tonight is that Shamrock Rovers have won in Waterford, and if they win against Bohemians on Friday, and Jerry said you lose here in Drogheda, where I am tonight, or effectively drop points, it'd be a goal difference thing. Shamrock Rovers will be champions. Now, look, we know this is coming, but it could happen this week. And look, they're in a very strong position now. It's stating the obvious.
Right. Yeah, strong position, and I suppose for both. I mean, it's a long time since they did the clean sweep, so they've had good performances against Rovers this year. So both Rovers doesn't need any extra spice. A couple of years ago, and it was both losing to Finn Harps that won it for Shamrock Rovers without kicking a ball on the night. So, not that both need any extra motivation. Yeah, but it could be a finality. We could even have it if I think results go a certain way. If Cork City do lose to Galway, one or two other results go a certain way, we could have. Yeah, I think we could have the champions and the team relegated on Friday night with a couple of games to go, which is finality with still a month to go.
Yeah, I think Cork City might have a 1 point margin of error in that situation, but I guess in a way it doesn't really matter. I mean, you've watched them tonight; they've been pulverised by the looks of it for St. Pat's. And I know Sharon Ash was talking beforehand about the resistance, but it doesn't look like that resistance held up tonight.
If this is what Cork City are going to give up in the next month of the season, they're gone. Game was over after 18 minutes. They were 2-0 down. Mason Melia, his 18th birthday, scored in the 18th minute. It was tailor-made for him to do something special like that, but just there was no fight in Cork. I mean, they did make 3 changes at half-time. They were good for maybe 3 minutes into the second half, and one shot on target from Evan McLaughlin. Greg Bulger gave a little bit of steel, but that was all it was. It was a couple of minutes. They crumbled down. They offered nothing. You would be seriously worried about what Cork City can do now, not just in the league, but in the FAI Cup as well. They're a very, very sorry-looking team. No fight, no nothing. A very, very disappointing Cork City performance. For Pats, I mean, that getting the 4 goals could be very important in terms of goal difference for the European places. Probably should have scored more. Only got 4. Probably could have been 5 or 6 even more. That's how bad Cork were.
Yeah, I mean, Mason Melia, as you say, his 18th birthday, 18th minute goal. I mean, look at his season. I know this will annoy Cork City fans, and they might be not feeling so hot about the semi-final tonight. There's a very good chance his season could finish in the Aviva Stadium. His time as a Pats player, but he could also finish as top scorer. I mean, he's put himself in the shake-up now.
But I think he will regret. I mean, he'd really 2 really good chances before he got a second. He really should have got a hat trick tonight. The presence, every couple of minutes there was a present being given to them by Cork City. So probably, I'm sounding pretty critical here of St. Pat's. They won 4-0 and kept a clean sheet, but it could have been an awful lot more. And the goal difference has elevated Pats up on the table tonight. It does look good. I think they're one better off now, but it could have been 5 or 6.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about the game I was at here. It's Drogheda United 2, Shelbourne 1. Look, I mean, Drogheda haven't lost the Shells this year. They've taken 8 points. There's a little bit of a pattern, like they score first, and I mean, Shelbourne started the game well. Meepo should have scored early on. They have just 2 ways to look at the breakthrough goal: a bad mistake from Shells, indecision, a brilliant finish by Dara Kareem, and then look, the second half, Shells with a lot of the ball. They make a treble sub and they concede from the restart. Hanging on a bit at the end, but I think, look, in the key moments of the game, they were sort of clinical. And I think for Drogheda, in fairness, I mean, look, I know Shells have a game in hand, but that game in hand is against Shamrock Rovers. Now, when's that going to be fixed? I mean, there's a lot of questions around that. But you do have a situation now where Drogheda and Pats have moved within 4 points of Bows and Derry. Shells are 7 points off second and third now. So this was always going to be a big momentum game, and maybe Drogheda have wrestled a bit of it back tonight.
Yeah, and I think Shells as well. I think it's going to be Europe is going to be interesting for them. Shamrock Rovers really have the advantage of knowing how to handle Europe, and Stephen Bradley has spoken that before. The travel, the meals, how to organise games, when to train. Do you train before you travel or train over in the whole city? Shelbourne don't have that, so I think it's going to be a difficult month for Shelbourne. Look, they're in Europe. So many other clubs would look to be in the position they're in, but it is going to be a bit of a test of resolve, I think, for Shelbourne over the next couple of weeks to stay in. They need to stay in that race for Europe. But also to try and have a good European campaign of their own this year.
Now, I'm pretty sure our Connacht viewers will say we buried the lead as well, because we have a significant development. Sligo Rovers are now 7th. Now, I know that they've had the misery of that trip home from Kerry, the week before last, but I'm guessing it'll be a much happier trip home tonight because, it's really happening. They're ahead of Waterford in goal difference, and they're 3 points ahead of Galway. I mean, that's a huge one.
It is, and you think Galway, I think maybe thought they might have turned a bit of a corner when they got that point against St. Pat's last week, having been beaten in the cup this week. Apologies for that. I think Galway probably thought they turned a corner. That's a blow now. I hope the home form isn't great. You would worry just that the blows that Galway have had over the last while, and Galway have that momentum back. Will Fitzgerald is back. They really missed him there. He was suspended. He's probably the most creative player. That's what Sligo have. They've Hakiki. They've so many attacking players. James McManus has been, again, huge signing for them. You just feel that Sligo have the squad to cope that I don't think Galway have at the stage of the season.
Yeah, and Galway conceding from a set piece, which is just going to frustrate John Coughlin. They're at home to Cork City on Friday, and that is a must-win. But Aidan, listen, thanks so much for your time again tonight. We could have things decided on Friday. This always felt like it would be an important Monday, and it's turned out to be that way. We'll be back with you later in the week.